Ué, peraí.
Já está gravando.
Hello, everyone. I am Professor Marcos Santos, and I coordinate the activities of the Operational Research House. And today, we are going to talk about functional resonance analysis methodology. Hello, Mr. Santos. How are you going?
Oh, fine, teacher Marcos. And you?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm great. Thanks for asking. Today, my guest is engineer Raphael Nascimento dos Santos. Raphael works at Focus Supermarkets Accounting as business consultant, helping retail business grow via controllership techniques and accurate tax calculation regarding Brazilian local retail industry. Today, is also studying at Military Institute of Engineering in Transport Engineering Master Degree course, having as main research theme resilience applied to supermarket retail and discrete event simulation. Thank you so much to accept my invitation to talk about functional resonance analysis methodology. And first, talk a little bit about yourself, your studies, your family, your hobbies, and so on.
Well, thank you, teacher, Professor Marcos. Oh, first of all, I'm glad to be part of this this presentation for Operational Research House. Well, I'm Raphael, and I've got two daughters, Sophia and Laura. One, the elder.
Where are you from? You're from Brazil?
Yeah, I'm from Brazil, from Rio de Janeiro. Yes, that's it. And yeah, my main hobbies are studying programmation at the moment, and I like really to read and to make discourses. I like to speak in public.
And you have two kids.
Yeah, I've got two kids. Yeah, I've got Sophia and Laura, two daughters.
Oh, good. Yeah. How age?
Well, the older one has a 6-year-old, and
okay.
Yeah, and the newborn baby, it's like she got 1-year-old.
Oh my goodness.
That's all right.
Like two, how can I say, live wires, I think.
Yeah, that's it. They're 220 volts.
Oh my goodness. Let's talk about functional resonance analysis methodology. I think you have some published papers applying from, haven't you?
Yes, I'm just in the way of publishing one.
Talk a little bit louder.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now? Is it all right?
Okay.
So
excellent.
So I have one on the oven. I've got one paper that I'm still writing to publish, which is the application of the Fram methodology for concept mapping for simulation. Yeah, for discrete event simulation. Yeah, principally because it has some Fram methodology has some points that permits us to allows us to see the resilience during the supply chain management events. So I'm still writing one. Yeah, I intend to publish on an international journal, which is a Retail Management Journal, which's got a good impact factor. So yeah, we're still doing some more research to apply that on Brazilian context.
And how are you applying the Fram in your thesis?
Well, I'm using Fram to make the work as it is mapping on the supermarkets that I am assessing. For example, I need to know how one shopper, how one purchase professional does his job, and how he responds to demand issues, how he responds to a lack of trucks, for example, during one demand, and how does the interactions, the socio-technical interactions between the supply chain on retail, they interact. So when I finish doing that, I will be able to make then the discrete event simulation, because I first need to do the conceptual mapping, and then I'm gonna use the software to make the simulations and to understand how disruptions can imply retail in Rio de Janeiro stores.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
And tell us about your papers presented in 2021, other papers.
Well, in 2021, it was a good year, yeah, for papers. In 2021,
How many papers did you present?
well, I've presented 4 papers. Yeah,
4.
so
Oh, good,
yeah,
good.
it was a good number. I thought, I suppose. So
In
in
your
2021,
first year in master degree?
yeah, it was his first year. Yeah, the first year.
4 papers.
Yeah,
is
it
good.
was very good. Yeah, it was very good. Also because in operational research house, yeah, for researchers, we have this how can I say, it's biosystem, yeah, where we can find lots of researchers, and then whenever we have doubts, we can go to YouTube channel and see things, or we can have
Many
WhatsApp
classes
groups and
about,
make,
we
yeah.
have more than 400 classes on our YouTube channel. More
Yeah,
than 400.
one specific video that helped me a lot during this year was the video that taught us how to write papers. It was very good because I could yeah, that's it, because it makes our life easier, and it so when we see
A very easy structure.
Yeah, easy structure, straight to the point, because normally, to be frank, yeah, I think that we have this normally we write too much things, and we can be, sometimes we can write over a shell. We write a lot but don't get to the point. Yeah, but with these courses that we had in operational research house, a video I think that was administrated by yourself, yeah, Marcos, also by Professor Fabrício Dias, about papers and about master's degree, thesis, and and whatnot. That helped a lot, yeah, for us to have a structure, a script of writing. Yeah, it was very good indeed. Yeah. So this made my 2021 made possible for me to write these 4 papers, and one paper that it was very good for me was the last one in December, an international event that we've presented an extended abstract in programmation event. Yeah. It was MEOPGP. It was online event for operations research and programming. It was very good. It was a very good experience. It was my first experience presenting for an international
in France. I don't know.
It was in France.
France, Lille, yeah, France. In France. Yes.
Yeah. Very good.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, make yourself at home. Let's get started.
Okay, Marcos. Okay, Marcos, thank you. So welcome everybody for this lesson. Today, I'm going to speak about functional resonance analysis methodology. It's just an introductory class, you know, so if you want to learn more about the method, I'll leave my contacts, and we have materials, other materials in Operation Research House by Professor Moacir, yeah, from Institute of Air Force, right? So the agenda of this presentation will talk about an introductory time here.
Okay,
We'll see.
1 minute.
Yeah, fine.
One slide. Came back.
Yeah.
It's okay. Okay, go ahead.
Right. So we have this introduction. I'm going to tell what is Fram, why we should use Fram, and how to use Fram, and some final considerations. So we've got 3 questions that I intend to answer before we finish this class, right? So first, we need to start telling the author about this method, which is Raphael Nascimento, who was born in Denmark. He is master's in psychology in Copenhagen University. Actually, he's a doctor also in psychology in Aarhus University in Denmark. And if you want to know more, you can go to Raphael Nascimento website that we can put in the description of the video. So first wise, I'd like to standardize some concepts. So Fram methodology comes from a safety perspective, from a safety point of view. So we've got this safety evaluation. So the safety concept started to evolve from 1950s and ongoing. So first, I'd like to present the concept of safety 1, which is important for us to understand. So in safety 1, all the health and safety methodologies were reactive. So people only made some good things, some better things at work only after accidents occurred. So the main line of thinking was to minimize accident numbers by events. So and can work, yeah. So this safety 1 can work if a low accident frequency is addressed. Safety 1 may be insufficient if many events can disrupt daily work, for example, in medical emergencies, or in tasks that are really that has lots of repetitions, and the risks can get, you know, occurs lots of time during the day. So safety 1 can't work, or it's not sufficient enough to prevent accidents. It's the reactive thinking, right? So another concept is the safety 2. Yeah, so it introduces the principles of proactive safety management, and prevention should take place before accident happens. Yeah, so we've got this evolving of safety concepts because of the number of accidents throughout the years, and safety 2 concept standardized that we need to prevent instead of react. So lots of governments all over the world, and lots of military institutes, or the army, the navy, most of them started to think this way during the 80s and onwards, because it's the best way. It was the best way to act at their time. So Fram also states the concept of resilience. So when we need to standardize this concept to understand it better. So what is resilience? Resilience is how quick you can recover from a disruption. If we double check this image over there, we can see the functionality. It's the y-axis, and then we have the x-axis, which is time. So whenever a crisis occurs, we have this damage, yeah, and then we have the resilience triangle, which means that the amount of time that you need to recover for after a crisis, or after an accident, or after a disruptive event. Yeah. So if we have a high resilience, we can go to this red line over there, and our resilience triangle is going to be lower. It's going to have a smaller area. But if we go to the green one, we're going to note that a low resilience system needs more time to recover from problems. So the main objective of resilience engineering is to create systems that can adapt to the failure event. In other words, we want to, when we study resilience engineering, we want to prepare systems to the event of failure, which didn't happen too much in safety 2 and didn't happen at all in safety 1. So in safety 2, we want to prevent accidents to occur. But when resilience concept enters into play, we, how can I say, we just we throw the resilience into safety 2, and we understand that failures can happen, and we need to be prepared about that. So this is a very important concept for supply chain management, because if we look at COVID, the virus, that occurred, this crisis of COVID-19, we can check that lots of supply chains all over the world had this problem. So the crisis occurred, then they had this hit, their operations, their profits, their way of being, their state just entered in a crisis, and then the companies that could answer to these health crisis quicker, they could thrive during this pandemics, right? So this is a very important concept to be understood here. So a resilient system should know beforehand, first wise, what to do in case of failure. Second wise, what to search, because if we think about it, we cannot search, we shouldn't at least search things that doesn't make sense for our problem. So a resilient system should know beforehand what to search in case of failure. And then the third wise, we have a resilient system should know beforehand what happened to the system. So then it comes Fram. So first we just made these concepts standardized, and now we're going to enter in Fram objectives. So Fram objectives are to first analyze how tasks should be performed, second wise, how tasks are performed, and third wise, how tasks could be performed. If we look at here, just one word make all the difference. So how tasks should be performed, it's the ultimate goal, it's the utopic world. But we know that in this first objective, in the real world, we don't do things in a perfect manner. So Fram brings into the play this concept that things are not linear, things are not perfect, things are not a cause effect just. No, we have these other things that can impact the system as an overall impact, not only a punctual impact. So how tasks should be performed is an answer that safety 2 can provide. How tasks are performed is a thing that Fram can provide with a better accuracy. And then we can compare how things are performed as they are with, we can compare the first with the second. And then after we compare the first with the second, we can know how tasks could be performed in a real manner. It doesn't get to the point where we stay in a utopic manner. For instance, we can use as an example, like a flow chart. If we have a flow chart telling to your employees what to do, then we can, you know, you have that flow chart. But the question is your employees, or are your employees doing exactly what is it in the flow chart? No, I don't think so. Normally it's not the way it happens. Normally they do the way they think it's correct. So this is how tests should be performed. They think the way they think. But then when Fram comes into play, we can make a system where we actually are closer to how things really are done and how they really behave between themselves. So to continue here, so the Fram objectives are to produce a systematic representation, well-defined and trustworthily. So I need to map processes that are really the way it happens. Second wise, in Fram's case, it is imperative that the essence of the work as it is form gets mapped. Third wise, one of Fram's premises is not to have a rock-written process mapping, not even linear. So this third one is a very important one, because when we use, for example, business processes modeling for BPMN, or if we use a SIPOC method, things are a bit linear. So you have this cause and effect thing, but in Fram the things are different. In Fram, they not necessarily are linear. They have this interconnection between themselves. And if I map one task first, doesn't mean that it is the first. It just means that it's connected to the whole system, which is a very good thing for people who want to double check safety systems and resilience, because lots of things into the systems impacts several processes. It's not just one thing, it's lots of things. So it's how systems behave between the system. This is a very mind-blowing statement that Fram brought to the play. So Fram has 4 key principles. So the first principle is that success is equivalent to failure. The second principle is that we need to make approximate adjustments to make sure that we are not evolve on quantitative analysis too much. We need to make approximate adjustments to make it simpler and to make it viable to occur. Because, for instance, if you want to quantify the variance or the resonance of the system, it's not an easy task. There are some papers that tells us how to do that, but it wouldn't be an easy task to do that when you consider the complex systems, socio-technical systems that we live in. So Hohenegel and Fram methodology makes approximate adjustments to make sure that everything happens in a correct way. The third principle is the principle of emergence, which is different from emergency. It's different from emergence. The principle of emergence is that things will emerge from the system. Every time a huge system is shaken, to put in a simple way, the own system will generate the success, the results, or the failures. So this is the thing. We don't want to just look to the results, but we need to look to how the system is going to bring new things to us. And the fourth principle is the principle of resonance, which is that one task, one activity will impact all the other activities most of the times. Yeah, so it's not that one task is going to just impact another task. It's going to be one task goes to the whole system. We're going to see each of these one here now. So the first principle is that success is equivalent to failure, and to put it in a simple way, I'm going to just tell a story about just this judo boy. Yeah, there is a story about of a judoist that he unfortunately had a car accident. Yeah, and he lost one of his arms, but he wanted to just practice judo, so he asked the master, and the master just told him, well, you can come in. Yeah, so he started to train, but his master just told to him, you're gonna just learn one move. I don't want you learning another moves. You're gonna just learn one move. So that boy started to learn that move, and after years, his master decided that it was time for him to go to a championship. On that championship, he started to the fights, and then he started to win. He won the championship, and then well, but he was just a disabled boy. He had just one arm. So he came to his master and asked him, how could I win those other guys with two arms, normal fighters? His master just answered to him, you have done that because of two reasons. The first reason is because the move, the throw that you have learned is one of the most difficult throws all over the judo. And the second one is that the only defense for this throw is to hold in your left arm, which you don't have. So in other words, to put it in other words, the main flaw of that boy was also the main strength of him. So this principle, the first principle of Fram, is that what leads to success is equivalent to what leads to failure. Well, normally when we do some risk analysis, we always want to see the risk word as if it's only negative. It's a trend. It's a natural trend. But in Fram methodology, no, we need to see that the main things that generates failure into a system are the same things that can generate success. Well, this principle is a very important one. Yeah, sometimes bad events over a system can generate good results, and other times good events in a chain of tasks can generate bad results. So this principle here opens our mind to see that things can happen in a very good way. Okay, so the second one is the approximate adjustment, right? So when we see that, we need to understand that resources sometimes are variables. They come with variability. So we have these availability of resources such as time, people, materials, information, etc., that can be limited or unreliable. So performance is adjusted to the situation. This adjustment is inevitable, ubiquitous, and necessary. Because of resource limitations, adjustments will be approximate rather than exact. So this is here, I really like, I enjoy this another concept here, because it's the way the life is, in it, isn't it? So I know this is a phrase that teacher Marcus, that you always tell, like the time that a model is perfect, yeah, it's not a model anymore, it's the reality. Yeah, so this is a sentence, this is a quote that is very remarkable for this situation here. So we need to make approximate adjustments to allow us to identify the performance variability. Yeah, this is the reason why things usually goes right, and to know also the reason why things sometimes go wrong. Yeah. So the third one is the principle of emergence. So things will be brought out from the systems. Yeah. So for example, All of these screens that I'm showing here are presented also in the Fram handbook that is available on Fram website, Fram model visualizer website. So this third principle here, it's the exact table that is in the material. So we have, for example, when we have an outcome analysis from a resulting point of view, for example, in finance, we're gonna just see interest rates and yields. But when we have outcome as emerging, when we look to inside of the system, we're going to analyze, for example, stock codes and share values. So in Fram, we need to look inside the system. We need to look to the whole. So for another example, the beach, for example, if we have just one look to the beach, coastal erosion, we'll see that every time a wave hits the coast, some sand is taken as a result of the wave's continuous exposure. But when we look at the same situation as something that is emerging from it, we can see wave patterns in the sand. So whenever a wave hits the shore, sand ripples emerge, but we can neither explain their appearance nor predict it. So this principle of emergence is very important for us to know that systems will behave in a way that sometimes we can't predict. Yeah. So I'm just going to put this last example here, for example, the nature. If we just look to the results, we're going to see that young birds or eggs will be a result of natural reproduction. Or we can look to the system and see that it's the pattern of a flock of migratory birds flying, but may not be geese and swans information. So I hope I can make myself clear here. So this principle, in this principle, we'll need to have a better look to what is behind the system. Yeah. The fourth and last principle, is the principle of resonance, which is how tasks can resonance between one another. It's like a vibration. Yeah. So if we look at this image here, what can resonance? A child swinging a guitar. Yeah. So the guitar string can resonance, and the balance wheel of a mechanical watch. So it resonances. So these are things. These are examples of the nature of things that resonance. It's quite the same thing in Fram methodology. All the tasks can resonance in a certain variability depending on the resource that we are looking at, and can impact the system as a whole. Not just one task. This is a very good and important principle, because things does not work in a linear way in our real world. Things are stochastic most of the times. Things are not too much linear. So this, we understand here in Fram methodology that this resonance principle is a very important thing to look. So now I'm going to tell how Fram processes for the implementation of the procedure. So there are 4 processes. First, we need to identify and describe the essential functions of the system. Second wise, identify the variability, aggregate variability, and develop recommendations. So in the first place, we need to identify and describe essential functions of the system. How do we do that? Yeah, we just do that. Yeah, here is this image where we have this function or activity. The C is for control. Yeah, so we have this. It looks like a neural network image here. Yeah, but we need to analyze these 4 aspects, which is the input, output, precondition, control, and resources. So here we use this to describe the essential functions of the system. Second wise, we identify the variability, and third, we aggregate variability. So for instance, the top image there is in a Portuguese version that I'm doing in my research. in order that we can identify the variability according to the type of function, you know, so we can use entries, outputs, and the type of functions, if it's a human function, if it is a system, or if it's an institutional function. So and then the Fram visualizer model, which is the software I'm gonna present later on, it will show us what is the possible source of variability, internally, externally. It will show also the potential variability about the time resource, and also for precision, for accuracy. Yeah, so if you look at this board over here, the variability of an output from an upstream function, you know, we have the timing. It can be too early, on time, too late, or we can have an omission. And then we have the possible effects for premature start. For example, the input may be overlooked, or no effect, or possible dampening. So it's very important is that, because these textual values here, these textual quotes, they are this approximation of the variability. They can make things easier for the risk assessor when we look at that, right? This is here an example of network, yeah. So as we can see, we have this, for example, this ERP system having impact on the requirements and the systems. So we can see that this system is interlinked, yeah, not in a linear way. And then in the fourth place, we have to develop recommendations. So to chase solutions for variability occurrence of non-controlled performance, such as accidents or incidents. Now I'm going to tell just some related works that we are seeing. We see that Fram is a very recent methodology. Those works here, they caught my attention because, for example, we have this Haddad and Broza from 2015. They have used Fram together with the AHP method for construction sustainability evaluation. It was a very interesting approach. It's very good. Also, we have the integration of functional resonance analysis with multi-criteria analysis for socio-technical systems risk management from Shirali and Albo-Gobesh.
So I understood that you can
Yes.
work with Fram and other methods together.
Yes,
Yeah?
yes. This is the nouveau thing. This is the good thing, because we can put Fram together with multi-criteria decision analysis methods, because Fram
multi-criteria and many others. I can use Fram and simulation, Fram and linear programming, Fram, I think.
Yeah. No, it's correct. And the issue here is that when we use Fram with these other systems,
I use Fram to structure the problem.
Yeah, that's it. The problem gets structured. So we have here, for example, we have a work from Patriarca et al. In 2017 that they used a Monte Carlo assessment.
Simulation.
Yeah, for a simulation for functional with Fram. Yeah, okay. To assess performance variability. So it's very good. Here, for example, we have an example of this Patriarca assessment. I'm going to just come back here. This 2017 paper here, they have used, this is the Fram drawing for an aircraft radar operation, which is a very repetitive work, which each one of the tasks impacts the others, yeah, and they wanted to use Monte Carlo assessment to double check the risks, to quantify more the risks. So it's very interesting approach also. Here is one interesting application from Cardoso et al. Yeah, from Brazilian Aircraft Institute of Technology. They have used Fram to understand, to investigate why there was low vaccination coverage in São José dos Campos. Yeah, this paper was published in 2019 in Brazilian Operations Research and Logistics event from the Navy. So it's a very interesting approach because Fram can assess old accidents. It can revisit old accident investigations. And it's a very, very interesting approach also. So where Fram is being applied, yeah. So in this literature review on the functional resonance analysis method, Patriarch et al. Made a very peculiar study in safety science for about the application of Fram. So we have some interesting information here. For example, the domain of application, we can look that aviation has lots of applications of Fram methodology and healthcare. So it's very interesting because both of these domain of applications, aviation and healthcare, they are very repetitive, they are very risky, and they are systems, despite we think that they are linear, sometimes the task, one task implies another task that can't be too much light, so we can't see too much. So Fram is very used on those areas. Yeah. So here we have the domain of application by year. So we see that also construction is having a grow, railway. Yeah. This here is by number of documents. So now we can answer how to use Fram. Well, there are both ways that I suggest that you start, if you want to start learning more Fram. There's the book, yeah, of Eric Holdnagel, which is the Fram methodology. It's a very good book. Yeah, I really recommend for reading. Then we have the one software that is available. The link is here. I suppose we're gonna put it on the description of this video, and the website with available materials. Yeah, I am also sharing my Google Drive with you if you want to see more things of Fram. There are lots of material. I just made a compendium of some materials of Fram, but you can also go search into the web. We have lots of videos regarding Fram, and we have the model visualizer of Fram, which is a software that is very good for you to draw the system. Yeah. And in the conclusion, I think that this Carl Jung quote is what summarizes the Fram. Yeah. Whenever you have a task in Fram, by Fram modeling, that has a connection with a second task, we always think that there is a reaction between them. It can be good or it can be bad. So this Carl Jung in 1933 quote summarizes what Fram is, which is the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. If we just change these two personalities with two tasks, there it is. This is what Fram analyzes. So it's a very interesting approach for resilience methodology. I really recommend, and I'd like to thank you, Professor Marcus, for this time. Thank you all of you viewers for this very rich opportunity.
Okay, wonderful. I think the creator of Fram used this methodology in aviation. Yeah, I think yes.
Yes.
But we can apply in many other complex systems like health, like and you are applying in supermarkets. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. To be frank, Eric Honagel started applying Fram in healthcare, and the system was so good that they started to apply in other areas, aviation, and then oil and gas, and then we have the construction area. There is a researcher in UFRJ, which is, I think his son is from our research group, which is Vilarinho, yeah, Vilarinho Rosa.
Yes.
He was one of that written the AHP method with a long line with Fram, and they used in construction. So there's lots of applications. Teacher Moacir from Aircraft
Oh,
Institute.
I
Yeah,
know, I know Professor Moacir. I know.
Professor Moacir made a video about that, and he told that the research agenda of Fram is just this, that we open our minds to use it wherever it's possible. So this is the
Absolutely.
research agenda. Yeah, it's very interesting, this.
Absolutely. Well, I understood that with Fram, I can structure a complex problem, and because sometimes the problems are very complex, very wicked, and I cannot understand. I cannot see the end of the problem. So with the Fram, it's possible to structure the problem and establish a train of thoughts. Well, first,
Exactly.
I need. Second, it's possible to establish a train of thoughts. And
Yes,
after that, I can apply a hard method like linear programming and simulation and multi-criteria, whatever you want. So
it makes possible this, yeah. It makes possible also to double check if your criterias are right, if you are using multi-criteria methods. Also, if, for example, we're using linear programming, for example, it will make, if you use Fram to model the problem, to make the modeling, you'll be able to see if you are making the right calculation on the right task, because it's very important in operations research to understand what you need to do, but it's also very important to understand what you don't need to do.
absolutely.
I think that Fram is going to help in the second one, what not to do. So what are the tasks that we don't need to look at too much, or what
Absolutely.
tasks we just need to look? What are the risks? How these tasks are impacting the whole system?
I
So
totally
then,
agree.
because of that, we can use, for example, discrete event simulation, because sometimes discrete event simulations is very expensive to collect data and these things. Whenever you analyzed it by Fram, you will really be able to get to the bottom of it and to understand what you really need to assess. I think that this is very good and interesting.
I totally agree. So, do you want to say anything else about your work, about your research, and advice?
Well, the advice I have, first I'd like to thank everybody, to welcome all the visitors, yeah, and feel yourself at home, right? And the advice I give to all of the researchers and all the guys that are studying operations research is that we need to work hard to get good results, and have a very nice day, because world will get better if we study more. So yeah, this is the message.
So my advice is don't be worried, scared with operational research, because we can solve so many complex problems with operational research method. So you can try, dip your toes in the water. Try, you can try, and I'm sure you will like the operational research. So thanks so much for your presentation, Engineer Raphael. My hats off to you.
Okay.
And it was an honor for us to have you here today. So, and my friends, thanks so much for watching this video. And if you like it, give us your thumbs up and subscribe on our YouTube channel. And like I said, we have so many, more than 400 classes on YouTube channel about some discrete event simulation, linear programming, AHP method, Topsys method. We have more than 400 classes, so you can learn whatever you want from operational research. So that's it, and thank you very much for watching this video, and bye. See you later.
Bye-bye.